with the language of alignment. What is the issue here? In 1974, when Dr. Ranawat and Insal, they started doing knee replacement surgery, the job was very simple. People with very deformed knee, painful knee, who could not, walk, would come to you like this, on the lady on the left side, and you were expected to correct it to a straight knee like a lady on the right side, and then patient will be happy, able to walk, go home, and you pat your back. So what changed in the next 50 years, and why are we discussing this in 2026? Now, why that philosophy, get that bloody joint straight philosophy, is not working anymore today, and there are three reasons, and we are ourselves to blame for it. Number one, because it was working so well, we started doing on a younger people. They were more active, they had more expectation, because we told them, look, you will be normal, you can run, you can jog, you can play everything. And we started giving them idea about the forgotten joint concept, where I put a joint and you forget about it, you have almost normal knee. It worked very well in the hip, because hip is a very simple biomechanics. Knee is something altogether different concept. So we have to realize that when we talk about knee replacement or changing the deformed knee into the normal knee, it's not just the knee alignment we look, but we also have to look at the soft tissue balance between mediolateral and anteroposterior soft tissues, which may have been deformed or damaged. And at the same time, we also look at the knee morphology, as we see today, how the knee prosthesis is. Like, is it a constrained prosthesis, it is congruent prosthesis, it is flat on flat, etc., etc. So when we look at it, we cannot just look at one identical thing like alignment issues and think about it, or knee morphology, what insert I can put. I have got 10 different inserts, and for a particular knee, I can put X or Y or Z. We just can't discuss that unless we also think what alignment strategy I'm going to use and what kind of soft tissue balancing I'm going to see that in that particular patient. So when we think about alignment, make sure you are thinking about all the things together: knee alignment, soft tissue balance, and the knee morphology. Now, what is the language of alignment for the people who are relatively new to the knee? Let us baseline think what is meant by different alignment. So this is a mechanical axis of the knee from the center of the head of the femur to the center of the knee. That is the mechanical axis of femur. That's the anatomical axis, and we can have an angle between them. This is the mechanical axis of tibia, and this is the mechanical axis of the entire leg from the hip, knee and ankle axis. Now normally, if you see the distal part of the femur, it is at an angle to the mechanical axis. That is called LDFA, lateral distal femoral angle. And similar thing, the top of the surface of tibia makes an angle medially. It's called MPTA. And these are designated so that when you want to talk about alignment, everybody knows what angle you are referring to. And usually a standard normal knee has some laxity outside, that is on the lateral side. And to make it more complex, the laxity on the outer side of the knee, standard varus knee, is not same in flexion and extension. Usually, especially in Indian patient, in a flexed position, the knee is more lax, maybe because we are used to sitting on the floor or sitting cross-legged. Now, one more complication happens here is the surface of the joint line when the patient is standing. So you add this LDFA and MPTA, then we get to know about how the joint surface in a standing patient is angled. Is it angled at 90 degrees of the mechanical axis? It is sloping distally, sloping proximally, and you have got a very nice classification for that, giving 9 different things. Now, if you think alignment issue ends here, that's not the case. We have to also look at the AP plane, and that's a sagittal plane. And there also we have to think about the knee implant. Is that implant, femoral implant, flexed more, and how much it is flexed more? Or the tibia implant, is it angled behind? What is the slope of the tibia implant? And the third axis, we also still have to think, is a rotational component positioning of these implants. So how much the femur is rotated, how much tibia is rotated. Now, so when we talk about alignment today, it's not just the coronal plane alignment. We have to look at the 3D alignment, 3D positioning of your implant, that is morphology of the knee, and 3D soft tissue balance has to be thought about together. So all these things, why it was not thought about in the past? Because that time there was no way to measure all these things. Today we have got navigation, robotic. You can measure accurately various angles of rotation, various position of soft tissues in medial lateral position all the time. So basically we are now talking about multiple alignment things. So we started with mechanical alignment like that, which was knee was to get straight. Then somebody thought, let us get a normal anatomical alignment with a varus tibia, little valgus femur, so joint line is slightly angled. Then people thought, no, the normal knee is not straight, let us get it little varus, so called adjusted mechanical. Then we came to kinematic, entirely different concept based on how the knee moves. And here, the joint was replaced, but angle of the deformity was sometime not corrected. People got worried, they thought, let us change it, and we get a restricted kinematic. Then came with that, again, inverse kinematic, and now we have got a functional alignment, which will be discussed about later. So, what issues are yet unsolved? There are 5 things which we still haven't understood, even though we have got so many different alignment and so many papers published on that. And these are the ones which we are going to discuss at the end, and I hope you get some clarity on these 5 questions at the end of our session. Question 1, the bone cuts and a soft tissue release. We change the bone cuts from the mechanical, so we do less soft tissue release. Then how much bone cuts we are allowed? What is the safe zone and what is the unrestricted alignment? Then sagittal positioning of implant. Is it very important? Rotation positioning, is it very important, and do we look at it? Question number 4, severe deformities if you get, do you change your alignment like kinematic to maybe towards mechanical thing? And the last question is role of implant philosophies. We talk about so many implants and they are all confusing. Medial stabilize, medial pivot, anterior stabilize, etc., etc. And I'm quite sure the big chart which the last speaker has shown, grading, many times there are so many confusion. I myself do not know exactly what is the difference between type 1 and type 2. So basically, what is the role of implant when you talk about alignment? Do you need to have special implant for special alignment, or it is a vice versa? So let us see what our speakers have to say. There are 5 good talks.